Nature carries within itself the reason for existence. The reason for existence hides within nature, gives meaning to it, and obeys the creative thought. Nature is not a backdrop. It is part of the story being told, it is a unique being, and it is part of every being. Without nature, the moment does not exist. It is, therefore, fundamental, and sustains the moment. Without nature, there are no forms, and it is from nature that the direction of each form of every being originates. It is within nature that the composition of every scene is found. Creative thought creates nature as a repository of all the elements necessary for the design of what beings will call life. That is why it is associated with, referred to as, and equated with life itself, as a synonym for nature. This repository is a paradox, because it does not precede creation, rather, it is immediate to it. Both, the created being and nature, exist simultaneously in the mind of the being that creates. Nature accompanies the created being, is also external to it, and resides in what is called the nature of the being. As the creator of itself, only the being can change itself, and it does so through working on its own nature. As a manifested being, without knowledge of alchemy, and the reason for existence, it lacks the capacity to undertake this work. It is abundantly clear that the being's work begins internally. That is why the wisdom manifested in each being tells it to visit the interior of the earth. To rectify is to understand one's nature. To understand one's nature is to find the hidden stone. The alchemical fire is present in the being, and is the being itself. Without it, transformation is impossible, since it is this fire that enables the being's nature to be remade. The manifested being, in ignorance, without understanding its own nature, the tools it possesses, or the necessity of learning, when touched by the need for self-transformation, works on the outer form, revealing misunderstanding. The whole of nature mourns, and reveals compassion in the face of these moments of action, which result from misunderstanding and the misuse of the forces inherent to the being. The being that transforms its exterior does not merely alter the exterior, but dulls its ability to understand and imposes upon itself an aesthetic that it tries to project onto others and the environment. This aesthetic, however, is out of alignment, and no longer reveals the being, but rather the jester who no longer knows how to proceed. The being grants itself the path of being, the path of the manifested being, and the path of the jester. The latter seeks to insert itself into the nature of the being and, at times, seems to dominate. Do what thou wilt, says the text. And this creates all kinds of complicity. What the text does not say is what brings the being closer to, or further from, itself. Ignorance does what it wants. Wisdom, always aligned with knowledge, does what must be done.